You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton, here, hanging with you guys. Good morning. Today, we're going to be getting a little bit of a business update, and this is actually one of my more favorite guests that I got to hang out with. If it wasn't this spring, last year spring, Sam, I'm not even sure when I got over there.
Was it spring already?
Has it already been 7-8 months, bro? Like, isn't that wild?
Yes, I know, man. It's been a crazy year for everybody, I think.
Absolutely. Well, my gosh, man, I'm literally like thinking to myself, how has it been 6, 7, 8 months? I feel like one part of me, it was 2 weeks ago. The other part of me was it was 2 years ago, you know?
It's been a lot of gray hair since you were here last, that's for sure.
For both of us, right? Well, so if you guys don't know, Sam Rankin, Etch Outdoor over there in beautiful Iowa, got a lot of great things going on. Some of you guys might remember Sam's voice and even video. We did a spring shop tour like we were just cutting up about. And honestly, it was probably one of my favorite ones from this spring. I really... the relatability, the conversations, the fun, seeing their crew come together. They were fresh off an acquisition. It was just one of the, I came back and I told Liz, I said, they got a good thing going on. I said, it's like the next potentially big deal company in the area. And I said, it's kind of cool to see, admittedly some of the trucks weren't matching and some of them, nothing matched on the mowers and the fleet because they had just bought a couple companies and crazy growth. But it was like what would you call it? The ground floor of what could be the next, like I said, big company out that way. And so Sam and I have kept in touch. We shoot messages at least once a week, I'd say, probably on Instagram. We're always razzing each other. And Sam's still struggling to get a tailor out there in Iowa. I get it. Find some pants that fit in, bro. But enough of me talking, man. I'm going to kick it over to you. Anything I missed out, but if you want to get these guys 60 seconds up to speed more, tell them a little bit more about your background, man. What do you guys got going on?
Yeah. Just jumping off that last point, the best comment somebody put on Instagram was there's 3 things sure in life: death, taxes, and Sam's ankle. Which was, I was like, you win. You got the best one. And at first it was style, and then it just became my brand. And now I can't shake it. So
I love it.
We had a great year, man. It's another year where, I put our budget in front of our banker in the spring, probably last fall. And he kind of laughed, shook his head and said, you did it for the last 4 years, but I just don't see how you do it this year. And once again, we had a phenomenal team like we do every single year. We're consistently full staff or overstaffed. It's a struggle that, people don't typically deal with in our industry. It's typically the opposite. Mm-hmm. And, our banker and our quarterly check-in we have, and at the end of September, beginning of October, he said, I just don't see a way you're going to hit it. And I said, no, everything's in line. And we're going to beat budget again this year and on both, top line and in earnings. So that's one of the big things for us is continuing to stick to a financial plan that we've got and continuing to map out what are the next, 1 year, 3 year, 10-year targets look like and just continue to grow.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. For anybody who doesn't know your background or didn't see that spring shop tour, the podcast, tell them a little bit more about Etch. And you guys went through, like I said earlier, a rebrand, a couple acquisitions. You guys are in the growth mode big time. And I'll tell you guys this, honestly, I'm really hesitant on my podcast to get the younger guys on there that are just, 1 million, 3 million, 5 million, 10X. I no disrespect to those guys. I want to see if you're going to be around 3 years, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I'm not a big fan of that kind of content. I'm not putting it down. I'm just saying most business does not work that way.
Nope.
And I could go on that for hours. So when I met Sam and I heard his fast growth, I called Corey and I said, is this guy the real deal? And Corey said, actually, yes, absolutely. They got a bunch of great stuff going on. And that just like gave me the nod and the vote of confidence because you guys have some really fast success. But last thing I want to do is edify somebody who's going to be a pop and drop and spin themselves out of the business or the industry, So, so tell them a little bit more. What you guys have a wild last 36 months, man. So what's been going on?
Yeah, so we would have been last July. So we're coming up on a year and a half after our rebrand. We were Ankeny Lawn and Landscapes LLC, which is, everybody starts. And if anybody's trying to pick a company name, the town you want to do it in and the services you want to do. Keep it simple. It should not. I'm not a fan of the Joe's Lawn Care. Just keep it simple.
Yep.
Let clients find you based on website SEO, because by default it's going to be better. So that's my 2 cents there. But there is a change shortage, so you can take that and shove it wherever, I guess. But no, it's been wild. We had an acquisition go through. We had a small one go through last year. We bought just a simple client list, and that went really well. The guy was transitioning to focusing just on landscape lighting and was getting completely out of the turf maintenance and fertilization weed control. So we took that on.
Okay.
That was pretty easy. No employees, no nothing with that. Just simply a residential client list. And we still have, I would say, probably 80% of them. So simple and a good way to kind of get our feet wet with what that looks like. How does the transition take place? Most recently, the acquisition we had January 9th of this year. So about 11 months ago now. That one was quite a bit different, since it was, there's 2 types of sales. You can do an asset purchase agreement or a stock purchase agreement. We went with an asset purchase agreement where, we're effectively buying the assets and buying everything for what it is. We're not carrying on any debt, which is the biggest thing that a lot of guys probably don't think about. Mm-hmm. Just in full transparency, that company, about $1.2 million in revenue. And we got a really good price on them. And that really jumped, our growth this year. And that's one of the things that, we obviously, like I said, wanted to continue to grow. We would have still grown 50% this year if there was no acquisition based on top line. So we still had obviously a successful growth year, but with the acquisition, it was, we were over 100% growth. So we doubled again this year. And to your point, yeah, that's, you see those people on Instagram all the time, and the leader of the pack, if you will, who's got all of his sales training and whatnot out there. I followed it for a little bit, but I realized it just wasn't sustainable. It was no longer about the customer. Mm-hmm. We have a priority, and I believe we have an obligation here to work in the best interest of our clients. And so finding a different sales training, I don't know if I can give a book recommendation, but you can't teach a kid to ride a bike at a seminar by David Sandler is the best sales book I've ever read.
Yep.
I don't know if you've read it.
Yep.
Dude, eye-opening, man. It really teaches you how to take care of a client and really let them buy, you don't sell.
Yep.
So that's what it's all about. Yeah, we don't want to be a pop and drop either. I've done some soul searching over the last, we've been traveling quite a bit over the last 6 weeks and being in some of these different places of the world, like, I truly believe, and I guarantee I'm going to have some buddies listening to this here and give me a hard time, but I believe what I'm here for is to provide excellent workplace environments. And that's what I want to do. I want to continue to grow, to continue to provide these high quality workplaces where people can grow and succeed.
I love it.
I feel like I've got an obligation to do that here. And, my goal is to do that in other markets. I want to continue to provide those opportunities.
I love it, man. I love it. Let me ask you this. So a couple of things that I wanted to run by you. Just they don't have to be 10-minute topics in each one, but a couple of things that I had in my mind lately was there's I think it was a podcast, right? Like How I Built This Podcast or How I Built That Podcast.
Yeah.
I'd love to pick your brain a little bit because that's the conversation that we've been getting all over the place on my content. Mm-hmm. And really our conferences here, LAL, we really spoke to that was scaling systems, hiring people, growing the company, getting off of the mower, getting out of the field. And, you have been one of those guys in the last 36, 48 months. I don't know your full story. We're just getting to know each other still. But I'd love to hear if you want to maybe talk about that for 5 or 10 minutes, because that's we had Sam Gemble in with Atlas Outdoor, $10 million company, Flint, mm-hmm. Michigan. Amazing dude. Leroy Maines, brilliant. Is it Brilliant Borders? I always get it messed up.
Yep, Brilliant Borders.
Yeah, and he's near you guys, I think, over in that greater area. And that's what a lot of guys have really been hungry for. And again, I'm not saying it's for everybody. If you're happy, owner operator, or you and a guy, and doing $200,000, like that is awesome. Whatever your goal is, that's my goal for you. But there are a lot of people that have been shifting gears and want to grow the next, $800 million, 1.2, $1.5 million company, or maybe then some. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about your growth, how you've been scaling things, how you're making those kind of decisions, and then you're swimming with sharks as well. You got Perfect Cut 2 miles up the road, like literally.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear how you view competition and how you view networking and having that big fish in your backyard, because a lot of guys are like, well, I can't grow. There's this guy's in my backyard and he gets all the big stuff. And I look at you being an excuse remover, and you're chiseling out your piece of the pie and not taking anything off Perfect Cut's plate necessarily. So I'd love to kind of maybe ask those two questions. Those are two big ones that I have for you, and then I'm sure we'll kind of skate around from there. But either one you want to tackle first, brother, it's all you. But we're just really excited about what you guys got going on.
Yeah, Leroy down at Brilliant Borders, awesome guy. We actually do a little bit of snow for him up here because I think it's like 40 minutes for him, 30 minutes for him, and add snow travel. So we actually have done a location, local, just small oil change place that fits right in our route. So cool. I know Leroy really well. Excellent human being. How to scale. And I actually took some notes here. I feel like I'm going to be on the debate that goes on here in the next, I don't know when you post this, but there is or was a presidential debate going on. So I had to take some notes.
There you go.
But
there you go.
The biggest things that I've learned from how to scale and how to go about it. First and foremost, there is one single problem in every single business, and it's the owner. Every single time, without fail, the owner is the biggest problem. I've heard different owners, and this is something that I hate when I hear this stuff, but talk about, oh, my guys suck. Well, who's the guy that's hiring the guys that suck?
Right.
It's you. You are the problem. And as soon as people can understand that you are the problem, but also you are the solution, I feel like there's a mental shift that goes on and people change their outlook. I've tried to always make it a point to carry myself with a level of excellence. And it's not because I'm better than anybody else, but I also know that there's a lot of eyes on me. I make it a point to this season. I've worn a hat 2 days. I wake up, I do my hair, I look presentable. I wear, Lululemon pants that everybody gives me a hard time for and a polo shirt. But I make it a point that this is important to me, and I'm going to carry myself at a level of excellence, and I expect similar or the same out of you. Mm-hmm. Because if they can't expect it of me, how is it fair that I expect it of them? So that's kind of first and foremost, is realizing that you're the problem, but also that you're the solution, and you're the one who's able to push change. Almost always, the individual that is the owner is almost always the visionary. That's why they started the business. They're usually not a very good integrator. And so that's one of the things that, whether it be on a podcast or a YouTube video, I know somebody you're doing with a YouTube video series with, or another YouTube video up in Michigan that I know I will watch that's about snow removal, that I'm going to bring 10 ideas back. But I'll let the team be the one to integrate those, because I'll put, 3 words on a Word document and then let's try to get somebody else to run with it. And so knowing that, you really have to integrate things. And that, kind of takes me to my next point. I'm in a peer group. We were just in Banff, Alberta, Canada for a week. And their whole motto this season is think, plan, act. And I see so many people who will sit there in the thinking and planning stages, but take absolutely no action to continue to grow. It's a daily battle. It's not all sunshine and roses. You see the highlight reel on social media, but this, Brian, I mean, it's a grind every single day, and it's a new challenge every single day. Mm-hmm. We've gotten to the point now where we've really put phenomenal systems in place, and we have team members taking accountability for the roles that fall under their scope. And yeah, there's been a few afternoons that I've been pretty bored, which is the best and worst feeling ever. But 9 times out of 10, it takes the level of action to push that continued growth and scale, if you will. Go ahead. Well,
I was going to, I didn't want to interrupt it, but I wanted to ask, what has your role changed into maybe this last 36 months as you went from small owner-operator business, couple guys, then grew a bigger clientele list, and then this huge monster that you guys, kind of Pac-Man. What have you noticed personally? Like you said, you're the problem, and the only thing I'll correct you on is that you could be the solution. I know a lot of guys that can be the solution, but they're choosing not to be, like you said.
Correct.
So just a little funny one there, but how have you seen your role grow and change in the company in the last 36 months? Because I think a lot of guys, like you said, they're hungry for it. They want to grow. What did they do next? What have you done next? Where are you at now?
So we have what we call an accountability chart. So that's something from EOS, and it is an organizational chart, just as you normally see with names and a hierarchy, if you will. But we took it a step further, and EOS kind of walks you through this. That the accountability chart has a list of tasks that are under ownership of this person. So if you look at our org chart, you'll also see that I'm responsible for certain things. And first and foremost, I'm responsible for leading the sales team, leading the account managers, which are a function of operations, and then also ideas. That's one of my biggest things is I'm responsible for the ideas that are going to continue to improve and push. And, I think a lot of those ideas are information that I get out of our team.
Mm-hmm.
But if we back up to when we were, I think we did 555 and then 899 the following year. And those 2 years, I was doing the sales and I was also doing some level of production management. I think everybody always kind of has that key guy that they can lean on and can run a job site. And that can be a really challenging hump to get through, because if you don't have that key guy in the field, you're on a one-way ticket to burnout.
Sure.
It's tough, man. It's really tough. I don't envy anybody being in that position. And I remember when people would tell me like, hey man, getting to $1 million is the hardest. After that, it starts to just kind of take over. And there is a lot of truth to that I never saw until I quote unquote crossed that line or that threshold. Going from 900,000 to 2.25 wasn't as tough. And that was all organic. I mean, that wasn't an acquisition. Now this year, jumping to 4.5, like, yeah, there's some stress, but you rely on systems. And when there's a problem, you create a system to fix the problem. You don't just simply solve the problem. So, the position the owner is always in has got to continue to evolve. And that could be, you have an operation focused owner, and that's awesome. But then you've got to find a teammate. You got to find that other trusted counsel that is going to be the one that is going to run sales. Because one person at the top only works for so long. And I truly believe that. We've got great people here. We've got, Cole is an example that Cole runs all of our construction right now. And he's been my trusted right-hand man since the beginning. And I got very lucky. I found him so early in business, but you have to have that one trusted person, because if you internalize all of it, it's incredibly challenging. Corey Ballard, Perfect Cup, for example, Matt Bowman is his partner. And I think you have to have, whether, ownership share or not, I think it takes multiple people to truly scale. I really do. And, to jump to your next question that you had on, market, and, I had somebody reach out to me the other day. I can't grow because, my town only has X, my town's not big enough. Then drive.
Right.
Then go somewhere. I was talking to a guy at our peer group trip in Banff, and I think he does $12 million in a town of 80,000, and within like an hour drive, I think there's like 150, 170. We're only limited by our own beliefs in the 6 inches between our ears. There's some, conditions, I guess, if you will, that'll make it more challenging. But there's no reason, in my opinion, there can't be $1 million lawn business in every single community. So really, there's if there's enough people to start it, there's probably enough people to get you to that $1 million mark. Beyond there, yeah, I could see it being challenging. But so many guys are, I can't. I figure out how you can. Mm-hmm. Don't use can't as your crutch. And if you alluded to the point, if you're wanting to be that $300,000 company, awesome. There is room for you. You can provide things that I can't. You can provide a level of service that I might not be able to, because I've got I've got several hundred or over 1,000 fertilizer accounts now that maybe you can provide a different level of service at maybe even a higher price, and people are going to love you for it.
Mm-hmm.
So use what you have to your advantage. Don't use it as a crutch. Figure out how you can and not instead of how you can't.
Love it.
Is kind of where I lie. So.
Well, as you,
man,
that's good. That's good stuff. I mean, whether it's your wingman, your right-hand guy, that foreman, that first guy that you can unload production to. And Sam gave just a really good nugget, and everybody started writing stuff down. He said, if you're spending, I have to remember, but he said, if you're spending more than 35 hours a week on a certain task or activity, it's time to replace yourself with it. And he was, alluding to, obviously seat time on the mower or the trimmer, basic stuff like that. But I would argue it's in almost any role in your company as your company continues to grow. If you want to continue to scale and grow and get yourself out of that seat, how have you found right people to put the quote unquote right seat, people in the right seats and the right seats on the bus? That was a huge part of the conversation at LAL this year. And Leroy spoke, did an amazing job. Sam Gamble spoke, did an amazing job. Everybody there came, did an amazing job. I'm bugging Sam. I said, hey, you coming up next year? He said, I'm thinking about it. So I'm like, well, we'll not give everybody everything today because I know there's more podcasts to do, and hopefully we'll get you on the circuit. But for some of those guys out there that are trying to, get off the mower, get off crew 1, get off crew 2, spend some time in sales and marketing, growing systems like you're talking about. Any helpful tips or suggestions that have worked for you along the way as you scaled this thing pretty well the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think, again, I'm back to recommending books, and especially the guys that are on a mower for 40, 50 hours a week. Dude, get Audible. There's a ton of books on tape on Spotify, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. There's quite a few on Spotify as well. But one of the best books that I want to say I listened to it, Dan Martell, Buy Back Your Time. Yeah. Talks about, I'll ask you, Brian, how many hours are there in the day?
24.
There is 24 hours in the day, but you can always hire more people.
Exactly.
So there's theoretically unlimited hours in the day, because what you're doing is simply replacing your time with somebody else's time, at a market wage or above, and you're able to have somebody do the job for you. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, every owner, they are the business owner, and ultimately they would be doing all of these tasks if they could. And the other people at the company are doing these tasks more or less on their behalf, because ultimately it is, your name and your reputation. So, we've got our controller actually share an office with her, as I think you saw when you were here, Brian, or she actually might not even been hired yet, but we share an office. It's a great and awful person to share an office with. She's an amazing person, but it stinks to by the person that counts all the money and makes sure it's all there and make sure that I'm turning in my receipts and all that stuff. But, she's got far greater expertise in accounting than I do. I never enjoy accounting. It's not fun to me. So we trade time for money. We buy back my time, and I can focus on revenue driving activities. Mm-hmm. And so that's what, I'm looking. I've got cameras in here that came with the shop that we've got. And, I'm looking down there, we call it the bullpen, that, Tori is a fantastic designer and salesperson of ours. And she puts together designs that are far more beautiful than I could ever think to design. But number two, and probably more importantly, she can dedicate all of her time to that. Mm-hmm. So if you continue to elevate yourself and backfill the roles behind you, you're going to be able to continue to scale. Now, that was a very long-winded answer, I realized, for how do you find the right people? It's not easy. And I find myself still, when I do an interview, I get really excited and I'm immediately infatuated with the idea of hiring this person. And it's difficult to take a step back and do the smell test. Does this smell right? Does this seem right? Are there other candidates that could be a better solution than the individual that we just interviewed? That's where, I find myself doing the exact same thing. I'm sure when you're doing interviews, you do it as well. But, taking that step back and looking, does this person truly follow our core values? Don't have core values? ChatGPT, baby. We're able to give you core values. Super easy. It'll give you 500 to choose from. You can pick the 5 that best suit your company. You don't have a mission vision statement. There's this thing called ChatGPT. Let it do work for you. Find those things that it's like, this sums up our business. Does that person fit those things? Because honestly, it's easier to replace the person before and in the interview process, not hiring them, than it is once they get inside the walls and they start knowing the company. It's really, I found it's very challenging to let somebody go. It's not something I enjoy. So, weed them out beforehand and really make it a slow to hire and quick to fire process. That's my experience on that. We have been very lucky. We don't have really any turnover on our support staff. We maybe 5 to 10% a year on support staff. We're a little bit higher on field staff. I think everybody would agree that, those positions are a little bit more challenging to keep guys. But, on our support staff, we're truly opening the gates for you to come in if we do. And, we just sent out another offer letter today that we're really excited about a business development gentleman coming on to work with commercial clients. And, that's somebody that I've had a personal relationship with, and I've known him for maybe 12 to 15 years and super excited to bring him on board to help serve our clients and whatnot. So we just have one account manager position open, but that's going to be a slow to hire process. That's going to take some time to find somebody that we know, we like, and we trust.
That's awesome. Sam, let me ask you this. What is something that you found to be a little bit more of a struggle than you originally thought as you continue to grow? Maybe something that, you've heard it before. You're like, sure, I'm going to remember that as a landmine so I don't step on that kind of a deal. Then, you're crossing the desert, World War I style over here, no man's land. And then you find yourself stepping on the good old booby trap landmine. And you realized, damn, somebody told me that could happen. And I thought I would do it. And here I am. Or maybe something that you underestimated or something like that.
Yeah.
Because, sometimes it's, there's stuff then the 4 windows, right? Things you don't know, all that mess. Anything like that you found to be a little bit more struggling this last 8, 9, 10 months since the acquisition and really as Etch has really found its own identity?
At Launchpreneur Academy, we believe in a community where success is amplified, not diminished by helping others. Introducing the Launchpreneur Academy Link membership, your ticket to a thriving lawn care business. Join our exclusive Launchpreneur Academy Link Facebook group where like-minded entrepreneurs share insights, advice, and encouragement. It's not just a group, it's a family dedicated to your success. As a Link member, you'll enjoy monthly hangouts to connect with fellow lawn care professionals, bidding hour calls to sharpen your business acumen and enlightening lessons from industry experts in our monthly guest expert series. And here's the icing on the cake, our monthly group coaching calls where your specific challenges are addressed and you receive personalized guidance to excel in your business. Yeah, there's more. Gain exclusive access to the lessons from Brian, the mastermind behind Launchpreneur Academy. With call records, PDF recaps, and more, you'll have a treasure trove of resources at your fingertips. And as a special bonus, when you sign up now, you'll receive 3 training programs worth $200 absolutely free. Boost your productivity with our Productivity and Profitability Hacks training program. Learn the art of selling with our How to Sell More Customers and Close More Jobs training program. And discover the secrets of building a winning team with our How to Build Your Team and Legitimize Your Business training program. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to revolutionize your lawn care business. Join Launchpreneur Academy Link membership today and let's grow together. Visit launchpreneuracademy.com and sign up now or use the link in the podcast description. Launchpreneur Academy Link, your link to success.
I got 2. Number 1 is cash. Other entrepreneurs, other business owners, I heard it all the time when we were smaller. It's really easy, and the cash seems to just always be there when you grow from, you hit your first 6-figure year up through probably, once you hit that 900 to $1 million mark. The cash just, seems to be there. You got your hand on everything. Your receivables are staying tight. As you grow, people say growth is expensive. And growth is expensive, but I think the impact is felt far more in, in the balance sheet instead of the income statement. We haven't found growth to be, incredibly expensive from a cost perspective on a P&L, but instead we find it to be very expensive from a balance sheet perspective and cash on hand.
Mm-hmm.
The swings in cash, especially, we've got about 50% of our revenue is coming from construction projects and enhancement projects that, you have a large outlay for materials. And yeah, we do billing, we do 30% deposits, sometimes 25 or 20% on a $250,000+ backyard. But, you can go several weeks between billing intervals on those. And that's a lot of money. I mean, I've seen swings of $300,000 in and out of the bank in a week.
Dude,
or a couple days, and it's like, my gosh!
I gotta pause here because I say stuff like that with my businesses and the social media business too, and it's all Mickey Mouse compared to where you guys are at right now with Etch. But there's times when me and my wife are having conversations, and one day it's especially as we're building a home too. Which a little inside baseball, if you guys don't know, when you build custom, typically you front that, then the bank reimburse you with your draws. If you want to talk about, nobody told us that. So there's times when the personal checking account, no joke, is up and down $100,000. Brian's Law Maintenance can be up and down 10, 20s of grands. And our social media business, believe it or not, folks, we have like real payroll to real business. That can be up and down 10s, 20s, 30s of thousands of dollars. It's ridiculous. We ran our conference LAL, and there was $100,000 that it was just burning a hole in the account for our food and our rental and our equipment, our AV guy, the speaker fees. You know what I mean? And there's times where you're like, what just happened? That account had $100,000 in it, and now it's $50, like literally. And I don't know if most people are aware of that. Number one, or two, can stomach that. Can you weigh in on that? Because it's just people just don't talk about that enough, in my opinion. I know I'd never heard about that.
I try to be as open as possible because there's a lot of people before me that I learned from that I heard bits and pieces of this stuff, and I wish I would have known. And ultimately it's no secret. Like nowadays, when I look at another person's business, I'm like, unless they've got some fantasy land business, they're going through the exact same things I am. So
sure,
it is very challenging to stomach some days. I mean, we've got a scorecard and I monitor that every single week, and our metrics are due on Monday by 3 p.m. And so Monday afternoon, Monday evening, I look at that for all the information from the previous week. And, payroll, we do weekly payroll. Payroll's, some weeks $40,000, $50,000.
Sure.
It's like, holy crap. And it's incredibly challenging to stomach, and it's almost better, when things go out ACH and they just go out by our controller doing it instead of, the first and the 15th, I get a stack of checks on my desk. And every single time I sign a check, I look at the dollar amount and I just try to mentally add them up. And eventually I give up because it's just, it's sickening and it's hard to stomach. And, I've got one of those slim wallets where it's just kind of a stack of cards and, $2 in cash if I'm lucky, if I have that much. But, you almost have to be comfortable with disassociating your business from personal. One side of the wallet is, the Amex for business, and the other side is the Amex for personal. Mm-hmm. And, I get a $200 expense on the personal side. And I'm like, Haley, this could put us under, like, and it's just unfathomable. Like, we got to really figure out where this $200 is going. And then you get, a work comp audit, and they want $17,000, and you look, controller, and you go, just write it. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's sickening, and it's hard. I don't know the word for it, but it's hard not to be carefree, if you will, about the money, because it is still real dollars. Mm-hmm. But it's also, you have to be willing and able to step back and look at, the income level on a business perspective versus a personal level are completely different. And so you have to be able to realize that, these are all, when you look at them in percentages, are all very similar. So, it's awesome. Hard. It's very challenging to stomach, and we're building our facility up north of town right now. I
was going to ask about that. How's that? Because you're talking about that in the spring. I think you had just bought land, right?
Yep. Well, actually, no. So we bought land like 2 years ago.
Okay. Okay.
The hardest part was every single time we got the building designed and the site planned, we outgrew it.
Okay.
It wasn't big enough. And so now, then it was big enough, but we couldn't afford it because it was too. And so it's been a fun challenge. They got poles in the ground for the building. So we're doing a post frame building. That is 60 by 130. We'll have 3,600 square feet of office space. We outgrew the number of parking spots, so I got to figure that out. The poles are in the ground, but they were 4 poles short, and they come out of Philadelphia. I don't know how you're short on a post frame building poles, but it's neither here nor there.
Go to Home Depot, bro. Let's go.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I don't think Home Depot has many 20-foot 8x8s, but
yeah,
maybe they do.
Might be short.
But yeah, we'll just zip tie them together. But no, we should be in there hopefully April, early to late April. And, we're excited. We kind of redid some of the office layout today, and we're excited for, to have a space to call our own. We already push culture and having an excellent workplace, but having a place to call our own that's clean, that's not all, OSB. God, that's going to be really nice. We're going to have outdoor storage up the wazoo, and we're going to have a clean mechanics area. We're going to have all those kind of creature comforts. So, hopefully you're able to come back at some point, and it's going to be quite the glow up. It's going to be a big change, and we're excited with it. Big old payment. Our rent is going to effectively double, but it's a long-term play. We're in this for the long haul. I wouldn't be personally guaranteeing things if I didn't have to, because I knew it was the right choice to make.
That's awesome. That's awesme. Congratulations, man. That's awesome. It's
thanks, man.
I'm going through it on a 10th of the scale, I guarantee you, with my shop, and we have our shop at our home to be is a big Band-Aid. People ask me all the time, we're running the business out of the shop. Technically, no. Obviously, no. We're not having guys show up here, but we'll have a lot of the equipment here, sort of the equipment that's not being used in the summer or the winter, et cetera. Yep. But that's not like where Brian's Lawn Maintenance HQ intends to be long term. And again, we're still debating if we want to grow a larger size company. And we've had those kind of conversations with so many of you guys. Liz and myself, of course, are having those conversations every day. And it's just really, really cool to see. I told Liz this. I feel like Sam's like the next guy that I could relate to the most with where we're at, with where we could potentially go. And I'm just so excited for you guys, man. You're building my dream every day. I get around all of you guys, and I'm your biggest cheerleaders. Like, you guys wouldn't believe. Listen, I love you guys. We're always praying for you guys to succeed. And yeah, absolutely. I know. I know Corey's building down the road, so. I try to get out there at least once every other year. So we'll have to get an update. But if I'm dealing with my the other day, the guys were trenching lines, utilities, water, sewer, septic. I just dropped the video on that on YouTube, and my electrician's like $6,600. He subbed a bunch of stuff out. I'm like, all right, here we go. And then I bitched to Corey Ballard. He's like, you could try $60,000 for soil testing and some other stuff, and whatever. It's all, it's all relative.
It's all relative. Yeah, exactly.
But, so any updates on that? Cause that's an exciting phase of your guys' business, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's been good. It's, office furniture is absolutely outrageous.
Right.
Costs have not, that's where, we're going to wait until that. I looked it up and down, like, man, maybe we could stay here another year. Building prices increase on average 10% a year forever. It just is 10% more expensive. It always is going to be. It's never going to come down. Mm-hmm. You don't get hurt unless you jump off a roller coaster. You can jump on whenever you want. Right. You don't try to time it. Just do it. So no, it's I still remember this spring when you came out. I was like, oh man, this Brian Lawn's maintenance guy. Who is he? And obviously I knew who you were, but no, man, it's fun because. Turns out you're just a regular dude that shoots some YouTube videos, and it's been enjoyable getting to know you. We're actually that's kind of my next thing is social media, and my fiance helps quite considerably with that. She's the one that posts everything, and we're looking at trying to start that YouTube route and trying to continue to create as many avenues to push people to Etch Outdoor.
That's awesome.
Figure out how we can be everywhere and everywhere at once. It's challenging. and it's, it's another full-time job to add to it, but it's exciting and it's something fun, something that I've obviously received. Like I said, I've gotten a ton of education from your videos and your guests, and I want to share our experience. It's not too often that you have a wealth of knowledge through you and through your guests, and it's kind of hard to find a YouTube channel that somebody with a little bit larger company that has different experience,
yep,
good or bad,
yep,
indifferent. But I think as I watch your videos, I'm able to take something from it, and I think that's what people maybe lose is you don't have to take everything from me, from you, from whoever, but if you can take one piece, that could be a small difference maker. That could be that 1% improvement.
Yep.
Hopefully a piece of advice that you learn, it'll improve you by 5% just so you can keep up with inflation. Call it what it is.
Yep.
You have to be 5% better next year just simply to keep up with the value of the dollar, not even to grow.
Right.
So, these guys that are growing or staying constant, you're actually shrinking. So I challenge people that, if somebody wants me to hold them accountable, I will be more than happy to. I'll be pleasant about it, but I won't be nice about it. That, we all need accountability folks in our life. And that could be, the person you go to bed with every night, or it could be, a business partner or somebody else in your office. But accountability is a good word.
I love it.
Accountability is a very good word. Don't treat it as a bad word. It's preemptive for success.
There you go. Well, let me ask you this, man. One last thing is with Sam Rankin and then Etch. Etch is Sam. Sam is Etch.
Yeah.
But at the same point, one thing that I wanted to ask you, I saw about a month or so after we were out there in the Spring Shop Tour series, which again, I invite you guys to check out the YouTube video, and that'll be a relic in about 12 months, 6 months when Sam made that move. But it's a great video. I mean, really fun.
Yeah.
But somebody said a comment. It was on TikTok. I found your TikTok or whatever, and and it was about, of course, go figure, the skinny jeans. And somebody said, "What kind of landscaper wears skinny jeans and Lululemons?" And your comment, because I'm a snooper, and the comment was, I think you said like, "I'm not a landscaper," or "Who told you that I'm a landscaper?"
I exactly.
Do you know that comment? Yeah.
I know exactly one. And I actually made a video of the top that we had a pair of Carhartt bibs sitting down in the corner, and they were also 4 inches too short. And I threw them on. I threw a high vis coat. And I said, "Oh, well, now I could work in a landscape business." So,
right.
Our team knows this. I had a conversation with our lawn production manager that, I'm sure glad that he enjoys operations, because I sure as shit don't. Mm-hmm. I don't find it fun. That's not what I'm good at. That's not what I'm passionate about. Same thing on the construction side where we got coal, that I'm not passionate about it. I don't find it fun. I am passionate about leadership and about growth of people of this company. And I'm not, I enjoy mowing, and I still give our guys a hard time that I can lay down some of the straightest laser stripes you ever did see. But that's not where I can provide the most value. Mm. Do I go out on job sites? Yes. Do my coal lawns maybe get a little bit muddy? Yeah. But that's not my job. Do not get it confused that if your role is to be a leader and lead an organization, that you're probably not best serving your organization with a hammer in your hand. Now, if you're training and you're teaching, that grows the organization. But we pigeonhole ourselves oftentimes into these boxes that, I'm the owner, so I need to be making sure that everything is perfect. No. Teach your guys to make sure everything's perfect. Or gals for that matter. We have females in the field and females dominate our support staff, but teach your team to do the right thing. Teach your team to carry that same level of care and expertise out on job sites. So, and this isn't bad to say this, but so you don't have to, because if you're spending all your time out there and the business is growing, you're spending more time, on the business and effectively cheating on your family. Like, after 5 o'clock, I am very, very good about, I don't touch work. I might send a couple texts here and there, and, I'm always surfing TikTok and Instagram and talking to a few buddies that are in the industry. But after 5 o'clock, man, that's your time to spend with your family. I don't have kids, but I got 2 dogs that are I say like kids, but everybody knows you're not. But that's my time to spend with them. You know, I don't want to use that time to continue to work. I love what I do, and I enjoy working on the weekends, but I take pride in the fact that my family is the most important thing, whether my parents or, my family that I've got. Like, man, that's why we do this. We work to have margin, and margin is either dollars and or time. So use that, find margin somewhere.
Man, that's good. So
I feel like you ask me questions and then I just go off like 20 feet to the right, and you're like, no questions I had.
No, listen, bro. But I did a podcast episode with Caleb Allman recently, and I don't know if you happen to listen to the title was, "Sir, this is a Wendy's drive-through." So so I'm like, Sam, what's entrepreneurship and your legacy? And you're like, man, it's about leadership and margin. And it's like, sir, I'm totally messing, bro.
I know you are. I'm sure I've done a couple podcasts now, and I've really tried. Like, every time I get done with one, I'm like, one, oh man, that did not go the way I thought it was going to go. And then two, all right, next time I'm going to focus. I'm going to be more direct and answer the questions better. But I also man, I want people to see it like it's a conversation that you and I are just having a few beverages and shooting the breeze, and they're able to hear some things that maybe they wouldn't hear otherwise. So that's the way I try to do things. I try to keep it pretty real.
I couldn't agree more. That was the vibe I got when I came there in the spring. And of course, it was actually your guys' what did you call it? It wasn't a cookout necessarily alone.
We just called it kickoff. Yeah, we just called it kickoff. We just finished up our winter one. So we did, some people call it snow rodeo, but we had games. We gave out like $500 in prizes and did a training and a pizza party.
That's
awesome.
And
we've got our Christmas party here in about a week, and we're going big this year. So we got a small band coming. We got vendors, and we've got vendors. We've got clients. We've got all of our team and their families. We're excited, man. I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted clients to feel appreciated too, and so we're gonna have a blast. It's pretty exciting, and the best part is I didn't plan a single part of it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, our Amanda is awesome here, and she's like, all right, give me the expectations and give me a budget. I was like, I don't know what it's going to cost, and I just gave her a number. I said, if you need more, come tell me, and we'll figure out where we're at. But let's start there. And so it's going to be so much fun. It's not even that expensive, but it's going to show everybody how much we appreciate them, and be able to have a time where our team can get to know some different clients, and our clients can get to see that we're just real people that like having fun and love what we do.
I love it, man. I love it. You guys, you're building my dream. I talk about you all the time to Liz and some of my guys, and things I learned from your guys' shop tour and just the conversations we have. Of course, watch on Instagram and TikTok. Here's the last thing I'll say, and I'll give you the final thought. But here's the last thing I'll say is, I love getting around to people that are doing it and taking action and growing and actually building, not just talking about it, actually doing it. And I remember you saying you liked the word etch because it was a verb or whatever. It's a doing thing. It's an adjective. It's it's scribing. It means writing down. It means actually doing it. And you guys are doing it. And that's it's cool to see, the proof in the pudding, and having that, I can say this, like, you guys talked a big game in the spring, and I'm like, well, and I'm not the we'll see kind of guy, but I'm like, hey, we'll see. Sure. And it's cool. It's cool to get the 7-month, 8-month later update, and hey, we hit this, didn't get that one, but this, and this, got those, and like, dude, that's awesome. And a lot of times, a lot of people, I always say the loud ones are usually the ones that haul off and do nothing. And frankly, and unfortunately, in today's world, especially with social media, the loudmouth always gets the views, the subs, the impressions, the likes, to whatever vanity metric. And usually I call it, like I said, those are the pop and drops. Those are the ones that are here today, gone tomorrow. They just want to sell you something or a course or all that kind of nonsense. But I think you're a thinker. I think you're cerebral. I think you're an executor. You're a doer. Your team's been having your back. I know you have their back. And it's just a beautiful thing, man. So I just want to say congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Proud of you, excited for you, man. And keep the hammer down. We're expecting big things out of you. But final thoughts, all yours, brother. But thanks again for pouring into these guys for 30, 40 minutes today.
Yeah, man. It's, as you kind of hit the nail on the head, man. We're incredibly blessed. It's not without incredible amounts of hard work from our team. And and all of that good stuff. So, final thoughts. I think the biggest thing that we're seeing, macroeconomic trends are still, I would say, either neutral to maybe semi-unfavorable and just a different level of uncertainty. And so, the things that are going to separate folks here in the next 24 months, 12 months, is the level of action that people are willing to take. We're all, like I said, we're all given the same 24 hours in a day. If we have additional staff members, theoretically, it's unlimited. But ultimately, it's are we going to just aim down the sights and look at the deer running away? Or are we going to pull the damn trigger? Are you going to make the difference, or are you just going to watch opportunities go by? Obviously, yes, you got to say no to some opportunities, but don't be afraid to say yes. Don't be afraid to continue to act and continue to grow. I hear all the time that man, I just don't know how. It's scary. It's challenging. You're going to make mistakes. You're the one making the call, so be able to live with the consequences of it if it does go poorly. But don't be afraid and don't forget to act. Don't just sit there and think and dream, but actually be the one to do it. So, I love it. It is. We're just like everybody else. Sure, we have a little bit bigger business, but we all deal with the same problems with just a different single or double zero behind it. It's not a new industry. There's not very many new problems. Whether it's joining a peer group, finding a mentor, there's people want to help. We want to see everybody succeed, and the rising tide lifts all boats. So don't be afraid to reach out, whether it's to me or to anybody, man. It's a good industry. It's got camaraderie like nothing else, and we're truly proud to be part of it.
I love it, man. I love it. This is guys, just a quick plug that I wanted to do was if you guys haven't heard or seen or even signed up or joined yet, we have a Launchpreneur Academy link. That's our new private Facebook group for those guys that are growing and going to the next level. And this kind of camaraderie and conversation that Sam's sharing, this is the kind of stuff that I'm eating up, and I always have, and I love that. And I know YouTube's a little bit of a song and dance. The podcast, we try to bring the most we can, value wise, but it's still a one-way street. But I love the banter, the conversation, the accountability, the growing together, and that's really where I'm putting a lot of my time and effort and focus in 24 into that Facebook group. So if you guys haven't signed up, go check it out at link launchpreneuracademy.com, and then I think it's probably like /link or something like that. It's a paid membership. It's not a come one, come all. It's not for that either. There's a bunch of free groups out there, and you'll get what you pay for there. I'll tell you that. So check that out. But if you want to continue that camaraderie, that growth, I encourage you guys to check that out. And also check out the rest of the content that has Sam attached to it. Like I said, he's the tip of the spear right now, and I'm just really, really grateful for his time, his friendship, and everything he's got going on. I know you guys have done a couple great episodes with Corey and Leroy, at the Green Grind.
Yep.
Where can people find it? If, otherwise, on social and website, and then they can go down the whole.
Yeah, we're just
Rankin Outdoor.
Yeah,
rabbit hole.
We're at Etch Outdoor.
Yep.
On Instagram and Facebook. We're just LinkedIn. We're just Sam Rankin, and that's what our YouTube channel is as well. It's just going to be Sam Rankin.
Cool.
I tried. I know when you released Link, I think my phone popped it up immediately, and I told you, I said I got to get my $29 to you and get in there if I can meet the application restrictions. If you got any of those, but no, man, it's fun to watch people grow, and like I said, I was there, and shit, I still am there. So that's something that I'm looking forward to be a part of, and being able to hopefully provide some value to some and take value from others. So. Yeah, we're all over, and don't hesitate to reach out. We really enjoy helping others, and ultimately that's what this industry is all about.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. All right, guys, we'll give Sam a follow. Check him out on Outdoor on Instagram and TikTok. And of course, if you guys can do me a big solid as well, razz him for his short pants, I'd really appreciate that. And that post,
dog.
Come on, you're walking into it. That post the other day was hilarious. I'm like, I'm going to comment. I have to comment. This is too low hanging fruit. So Sam's playing the algorithm. He's playing the long game.
Engagement, baby.
On my dream board, Liz and I we'll put Etch Outdoor and put Sam up there, and you gotta buy your outfit with like the short pants, from the Spirit of Halloween store.
I want to figure out how much it is to send you a cardboard cutout for your new shop.
Oh yeah. That way you can always bless us with your presence. I love it, man. Well, no, keep doing what you guys are doing, man, and we'll be back over there before you guys know it. So, but that's awesome. That's what we'll cut it, guys. Sam, thanks so much again for the time, brother.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Well, hey, you guys have a good rest of the day, and I hope you guys enjoy this fun conversation with Sam and Etch Outdoor. Like I said, give them a follow on social. And guys, we're dropping new podcasts if you guys are new to the show, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, without fail. So appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Have a safe holiday season. Get those last cleanups in. Good luck plowing snow if you guys listen to this late night. Check those mirrors, and we'll catch up with you guys here on the next one.
Before you turn off the podcast, there are two things that we believe you will be highly interested in. First, if you're looking to stay up to date with the latest trends and insights in the world of lawn care, then you'll want to subscribe to our free email newsletter. It shows up in your inbox 3 times a week and includes a Monday motivational to kick off your week, a Wednesday what's new to keep you informed, and a Friday weekly recap of all the content we put out. The second thing is we have just launched Lawntrepreneur Academy Link. Now you can be a part of an exclusive community that links you to those who can help you grow in your lawn care business. Joining Lawntrepreneur Link will give you the tools that you need to stay accountable, get real-time expert advice, and find belonging in a community of folks who are passionate about the lawn care industry just like you. Visit LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com to learn how Link membership gives you unique access to monthly hangouts, bidding hour calls, coaching calls, expert lessons, and more. Stay ahead of the curve and level up your business with a membership to the Lawntrepreneur Academy Link. Find an easy-to-use link in the podcast description.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.